Gilmore's finding out just how hard it is to get through the Rat Pack defence. 266 White Russian taking a hit to the outside part of turn number 2. She's okay, she's back on track. So Rory Spilmore it is then, the lead jammer for Westside. And Mega jamming for the Rat Pack. So it is number 7-7 jamming for the Rat Pack. That's Vindicator up against 103. Fancy Pants jamming for West Side. But getting on through, picking up lead jammer it is Vindicator. As the pack comes through turn number 1, the West Side defence giving Vindicators plenty to think about. 162 Florence the Machine being sent to the penalty box. As is Fancy Pants. Box seeing plenty of traffic. 4 points in from Vindicator on the previous pass. The blocker advantage clearly going the way of the Rat Pack. 4-2 blocker advantage. Vindicator's seen enough and calls it off. This is going to be very, very handy for the Rat Pack. It's going to be a power jam start for them. As we see then, number 1 for the Rat Pack, that's Sione on the jammer start line. They have the jammer start line all to themselves. As we see our first official review. The first official review being a delayed call for West Side. So again, the blocker advantage going the way of the Rat Pack. It's going to be the 4-2 blocker advantage their way. So as we get this one underway, the draw back on was nice and quick by Westside, but not quick enough for Sione to get on through and pick up lead jammer. Now the defence comes. Oh, big hit there from Massacre Jones on Sione. Sione having none of it, gets on through. As 103, that's Fancy Pants jamming for West Side, has been released to the track. Nice bit of defensive work there from Florence the Machine on Sione. Both skaters then back up on track. As Fancy Pants finds a way through. And Sione's more than aware of that and calls that one off. And a very handy 8-point jam there for the Rat Pack. Takes them within 2 points, 27-29 with 18:45 remaining in this first half. As we see Murderface and Mega on the jammer start line. Both jammers then set about trying to get on through the pack. Both defences working very hard. Maddie Longleach for West Side out front trying to hold up Mega, but Mega gets on through lead jammer Rat Pack. 1-7 Liz Vegas picking up a penalty for West Side. And Mega gets on through, a little bit of a hit it and quit it. And we're going to find ourselves under another official timeout. It looks like it's going to be a pack advantage the way of the Rat Pack, and indeed it is, with 2 skaters in the bin. So the 4-2 advantage going the way of the Rat Pack, with Vinter Skater and Rory Spilmore, the 2 jammers on the jammer start line. The West Side bench manager, Matt, just having a bit of a chat to the referee, just trying to get some clarification. As I mentioned before, a lot of these teams will be taking full advantage of the statewide stampede to get themselves ready for TGSS in June. In fact, it's the Queen's Birthday long weekend. 3 days at the Adelaide Showgrounds. And these 2 teams will no doubt feature very, very prominently, depending on what division they end up in. White Russian showing some of the dance moves out there on the track. Everyone's having a bit of a dance, a bit of a shake, a bit of a boogie. What else would you do on a Sunday morning? So the rolling whistle means we're about 30 seconds away from getting this one back underway. Made that 5 seconds. So we get this one underway. It is Vinter Skater then for the Rat Pack. Rory Spilmore for West Side. Both teams working very hard out front, trying to hold the jammers, making them work oh so hard. Good bit of defensive work then from the Rat Pack, but getting out through, picking up lead jammer. It is Vinter Skater for the Rat Pack. And fair to say, Vinter Skater's got the jets on, well and truly off to the races, trying to get to the pack. The initial pass is all but done and dusted. It's about the point scoring pass now, and Vin manages to do that. Just picking up the 3 points there. But more importantly, keeping Westside to no points in that previous jam. And with that comes a lead change. The Rat Pack take the lead, 34-29. With 16:50 remaining in this first half. Fine effort by the Rat Pack to get themselves back into the game, as Westside Glory have called a team timeout. And we're back underway. And number 1, Sione jamming for the Rat Pack. Gets on through, wasting no time, picking up lead jammer. And it is then 103 Fancy Pants jamming for West Side. Nice hit to the outside part of turn 2. Gets recycled deep back into turn 1. Meanwhile, all that was going on, Sione picking up 3 points for the Rat Pack. As the pack now slowly making its way into turn number 3. Fancy Pants gets on through. And before the West Side could add to their total, Sione calling that one off. Adding another 6 points to the Rat Pack total. Sees the Rat Pack on 40. West Side Derby Dolls, West Side Glory on 29. 15:40 remaining in this first half. It is then Mega and Murderface, the M's on the jammer start lines. We get this one underway, pushing hard at the front of the pack. Murderface trying to find a way through, but making hay while the sun shines. It is Mega for the Rat Pack. Getting on through, picking up lead jammer. So nice little hit it and quit it there from Mega, just picking up the 2 more points. So we get this one underway. It is Vindicator jamming rather for the Rat Pack up against Rory Spilmore jamming for West Side. Nice bit of defense out there by Sniffles to take Rory Spilmore to the outside part of turn 2. Recycled deep back into turn 1. But a nice gap on offer. Rory Spilmore doesn't need much more than that. Gets on through lead jammer West Side. Vintage Skater though has got plenty to think about as the West Side defense go to work and holding her up. And whilst all that's happening, Rory Spilmore 4 points on that previous pass. So the star pass has been complete. It is now 2-1-6 to recognise jammer. Baby H, of course, but unfortunately, it's going to have no impact. Rory Spilmore then adding 5 more points to the West Side total, pushing them along to 34. Rat Pack on 42. We've got around about 13.25 minutes remaining. So it looks like then Fancy Pants jamming for West Side up against number 1 Sione jamming for the Rat Pack, but unfortunately Fancy Pants thought that there was a penalty but not a return to track. Sione then lead jammer Rat Pack, wasting no time getting the initial pass done and the points scoring pass done. Unfortunately for West Side, Fancy Pants picking up a penalty, so it's a power jam now for the Rat Pack. There comes the O for the Rat Pack on offer, and West Side really having none of it. And another 9 points, in fact, 8 points added to the Rat Pack total. Gets them out to 50. West Side Glory, West Side Derby Dolls on 34. And looks like we're going to see our first official review being called by West Side. Seriously, anything for a photo. I mean, come on. Hey, Rev, how you doing? I'm here, I'm talking. You guys are doing the derby. There's an official review. I'm not going to say anything just yet, but, you know, I'm all right. I will get all the information relative to that timeout in a few moments' time. I didn't quite get the end result, so there's no point in making any mention. So we get this one underway. It is then number 40. That's Mega jamming for the Rat Pack. And it's going to be a solo start for them. Power jam start for the Rat Pack. Gets on through. And picking up lead jammer fairly quickly. It's 103, that is Fancy Pants being released out of the penalty box straight away, being met solidly by the Rat Pack defence coming through turns number 1 and 2. Nice little hit to the inside there by Scream for the Rat Pack. Mega just been taken to the outside part of turn 2, returns back on track. And seen enough and called it off. So again, the blocker advantage is going to go the way of the Rat Pack. 4-3 blocker advantage their way. It is number 1, Sione jamming for the Rat Pack. And it looks like Rory Spillmore then jamming for Westside. Getting on through, picking up lead jammer. It is Sione for the Rat Pack. Unfortunately for Gussie, picking up a cut track for Rat Pack. Sione unfortunately picking up a penalty, so this is going to turn into a power jam then. Not a power jam. Yeah, power jam. I'll get it right one day. So Rory Spillmore then, the only jammer out on track, will be doing absolutely everything they can to try and get as many points. Whilst her opposing jammer sits in the penalty box. Meanwhile, 269 Gussie returning the track for Ballarat. And Rory Spillmore just working the outside part of turn number 1 nicely. Oh, big hit on Sione there by Massacre Jones. Some very nice defensive work here by Westside. The defense there for Westside, in particular Massacre Jones, giving Sione plenty to think about. As this one comes to an end. Nice jam there from Rory Spillmore, adding 11 points to the Westside total, moving them along to 45, and the Rat Pack on 56. find ourselves under an official timeout. So we get this one back underway. It is then Murderface jamming for Westside up against Mega jamming for the Rat Pack. And the Rat Pack now just out the front trying to do absolutely everything they can to give Murderface plenty to think about. The defense is nice and strong. The bridging is good. But finding a gap on the outside part of turn one, Murderface gets on through, picking up lead jammer. So the initial pass is done and dusted then for Murderface. Murderface picking up 4 more points. Unfortunately for Mega picking up a penalty. It's another 4 points picking up or being added to the Westside Glory tally, so the gap has closed right up. It was out to 16 points at one stage. A couple of nice jams from Westside has seen them come right back into the game. It's only 3 points of difference, 56-53. We thought this game was going to be nice and tough and tight, and we have not been let down at all. With just a tick over 6 3/4 minutes remaining. And the blocker advantage is going to go the way of Westside. So it's a power jam start for Westside, and the captain, Matty Longlegs. Oh, taking a bit of a slide there off of turn number 2. So it is in Matty Longlegs and Westside lead jammer. As the cavalry slowly start to arrive from the Rat Pack. Unfortunately, 266 White Russian picking up a multiplayer penalty. Nice big hit there from Seamstress on fatal off of turn number 1. Matty Longlegs though just going on through, doing what Matty does, picking up points. So very nice jam then for Matty, picking up 11 points to add to the Westside total. That's 2 jams then of 11 points. Sees a lead change with Westside on 64, Rat Pack on 56. Hello, Chicky. Pack advantage going to go the way of Westside. It's going to be the 4-2 pack advantage. Vindicator it is, jamming for the Rat Pack. Rory Spillmore jamming for Westside. Waste no time getting on through. Lead jammer, Rory Spillmore, Westside. Unfortunately, it's going to be a power jam too, as I see Vindicator being sent to the penalty box. So the defense is nice and strong out front by the Rat Pack, but So Rory Spilmore, lead jammer again for Westside, picking up all the points. So Vindicated then being released from the penalty box and back out on track. Not before Rory Spilmore could see that and call it off. And another 8 points being added to the Westside tally, moving them along to 72-56. Full complement of skaters on track, which is what we want to see. It is then number 1, Sione, jamming for the Rat Pack. And 103. Of course, Fancy Pants jamming for Westside. Fancy Pants in, wasting no time, adding more points to the ever-growing Westside tally. Finally getting on through the pack. Sione. As we see ourselves under an official timeout. Very interesting start. There was no jammer on the jammer start line because both of them were in the bin, but we now have a jammer. And it is Fancy Pants jamming for Westside. As the Rat Pack defense slowly get reformed at the front of the pack there. Unfortunately for Fancy Pants, it's a back block. And this is going to give an instant power jam to Sione, just being released out of the penalty box. So a really good opportunity for the Rat Pack to pick up some points here, see if they can't just close that gap up. So 4 points in, already put on the Rat Pack total. So just the 5 points then added to the Rat Pack total, moving them along to 62, Westside on 81. power jam start than it is for the Rat Pack. And number 40, that's Mega. Gets on through, picking up lead jammer. 103 Fancy Pants then also resuming back on track after being released out of the penalty box. So the star pass then has been completed for West Side. Matty Longlegs now the recognised jammer. As now Mega hits the back of the pack nice and solidly. Not before picking up some points and calling it off. Seven more points being added to Rat Pack total. Moving them along to 69 with Westside Glory on 82. It is then Rory Spillmore jamming for Westside. Vindicator jamming for the Rat Pack as we get this one underway. Both teams defensively giving all these, both these jammers plenty to think about, but using the inside part of turn number one nicely. Vindicator lead, jammer, Rat Pack. So again, just a nice hit it and quit it for the Rat Pack. That's all they need to do just to keep the scoreboard ticking over. Just a 2 points added, moving them along to 71. But more importantly, keeping the Westside Glory to 0 in that previous jam, leaving them on 82. I believe that's taking us to our intermission. Okay, cool. So at the halftime break, ladies and gentlemen, it is the Rat Pack 71, the Westside Glory on 82. We've just got a few announcements. I'm going to hand over to Niall, who's in the middle of the track. And we've got a couple of announcements we need to get sorted. Stretch your legs, grab something to eat, grab something to drink. And we'll see you back here in around 15 minutes' time.
One, two.
Hello, everyone. Can we have the lovely Caitlin to the middle, please? So, as all of you know, the lovely Caitlin is our tournament director and is leaving us as tournament director as of the end of this round. Found out last night she's been doing it for 5.5 years. That's some serious dedication there. So, you need a nap, yeah. I think you've deserved many naps. So, on behalf of Statewide and the Statewide Organising Committee, just like to present you with a card and some vouchers to say thank you for all of your hard work. We really appreciate it, and Statewide wouldn't be the same without you. I'm gonna cry, you're gonna make me cry.
Thank you very much to Frank for putting all out together and making it happen. Stampede would definitely not be the same without Caitlin, and we will miss her. You still have to turn up the games, Caitlin.
So welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen. Trust that you've been able to get something to eat and drink as we get this second half action underway between Westside and Ballarat. So it is then Murderface jamming for Westside up against Sione jamming for the Rat Pack. Getting out front, picking up lead jammer, it is Murderface. As the two teams now try and go defensively. Oh, big hit there in the back of the pack. Sione and looks like Slaughter there for Westside. Yes, she gives me a little bit of a smile as she's going off. As we see ourselves under an official timeout. Yes, we have a slight delay that we don't have any St John's ambulance personnel on board. Hence we can't go debut until they're there. Now we have our medical staff on hand. We can get back underway. So it is then a power jam start for Rory Spilmore and Westside. Unfortunately, Sione was picked up on a late call on that previous jam, hence the power jam start. Ballarat now trying everything they can to try and stop Rory Spilmore, but Rory having none of it, finding some nice bit of territory on the inside part of turn number 2. Gets on through. Picking up lead jammer for Westside. So number 1 then Sione for the Rat Pack being released back out onto the track. As the pack now coming through turns 3 and 4. Rat Pack defense trying everything they can to stop Rory Spilmore. 8 points being added to the west side tally, moving them along to 94 with the Rat Pack on 71. It's going to be a power jam start for the Rat Pack. Mega is the jam, unfortunately, for Rory Spilmore. There was a late call at the previous jam. So as we get this one underway then, both teams defensively, certainly Westside trying to do absolutely everything they can to try and hold Mega up. And that action's taking place right in front of me here down on turn number 1. Here come the cavalry now for the Rat Pack rather. And Mega gets on through and is lead jammer. And whilst that was happening, Rory Spilmore being released out of the penalty box. The Rat Pack defense at the front of the pack trying everything they can to hold up Rory Spilmore. And Mega at the back of the pack just trying to get some points before calling it off, and did so. Picking up just to 2 points. So these Rat Pack 73, West Side 94. 26 and 10 remaining in this game. As we get the hammer thrown down, it is then Vindicator jamming for Ballarat. And looks like Matty Longlegs jamming for West Side. But unfortunately for Matty Longlegs picking up a cut track. So it is then a power jam for the Rat Pack. A couple of early power jams early in the second half, exactly what the Rat Pack want. Try and maximise and get some points and close that gap up. As the pack now working feverishly down in turn number 3, both Vindicator jamming for Rat Pack and the defensive efforts from West Side trying to hold Vin up. Unfortunately, Vin has been sent to the penalty box. A little bit of a delay here. It's gone awfully quiet, and there's a reason for that, because, well, I don't know why. Anyway, action's back on track. Vindicator been released out of the penalty box and waste no time. Trying then to get some much needed points, hitting the pack nice and hard in turn number 3. Interesting jam there. Just the 2 points being added to the Rat Pack total, moving them along to 75. Westside Glory, though, still on 94, and they have been for the past 3 jams. So Ballarat will be looking to try and take advantage of any power jams that they get and try and get the points on. It is then Murderface jamming for Westside up against Sione jamming for the Rat Pack. And straight away, both jammers are met solidly, but it is Sione getting on through, picking up lead jammer for the Rat Pack. And Murderface with a little bit of work to do coming out of turn number 2. The Ballarat defense more than up for the challenge. Oh, hit solidly there. Sione just skating into a whole world of hurt with the Westside Glory defense. have some company up in the commentary box. Got the lovely Cheeky beside me. She's not going to commentate, unless she wants to, of course, but I doubt it. I don't know. Who knows? I'm sure you do. So it is then number 40 jamming for the Rat Pack. That's, of course, Mega up against Rory Spillmore jamming for West Side. And it is Mega getting on through, picking up lead jammer for the Rat Pack. Plenty of defense happening from both teams as they come through turn number 2. And the pack now slowly coming through down the back straightaway. Mega was just waiting for the opportune time to call it off, and did so before Rory Spillmore could score any points. So both teams at the end of that jam going in with donuts. No points being added to their scores. So we get this one underway. The blocker advantage going the way of Westside. It is then Matty Longlegs, their captain, jamming for Westside. Up against number 1, Sione, jamming for the Rat Pack. The Rat Pack defense at the front of the pack showing Matty Longlegs no mercy whatsoever. Meanwhile, at the back of the pack, Sione with it all to do. The Westside defense showing her exactly the same. Trying to work on through and getting through. Lead jammer Sione there for the Rat Pack. Unfortunately though for Matty Longlegs, being sent to the penalty box. As the pack then moves slowly through into turn number 3. And it's 4 points being added to the Rat Pack total. A nice bit of defensive work there. It looked like Liz Vegas on the far side of the track into turn number 3. So these are another 4 points on the scoreboard there for the Rat Pack, slowly bridging this gap. Which is what they've done all game. Anytime Westside have got out to a bit of a lead, the Rat Pack have found a way to bridge the gap as we see ourselves under a team timeout being called by Westside. So that whistle means we're back underway, and it is Mega jamming for the Rat Pack. And the power jam start at that. So Mega will be looking to try and get on through as quick as possible. So Mega on through, picking up lead Jammer. The initial pass all done and dusted. It's now about the point scoring pass. So the blocker advantage going the way of the Rat Pack, unfortunately. The West Side, rather, unfortunately for the Rat Pack. 2 have been sent to the bin. And it looks like Matty Longlegs again, unfortunately, being sent to the penalty box. This now turns it into a power jam again for Ballarat. Fair to say the penalty box seen a fair bit of traffic in this particular jam. Nice call off there by Mega and the Rat Pack. After a short break, we're now back on track. So we get this one underway. It's going to be a power jam start for Ballarat and Vindiscator. And also the blocker advantage going the way of Ballarat. And Vindiscator wasting no time trying to get out and back to the pack. And getting points. Just like that, 4 points being then added to the Rat Pack total before Matty Longlegs could get back on track. So looks like 5-5 then, that's Snipples there, picking up a penalty for Ballarat. So the pack advantage with West Side it is then. Rory Spilmore jamming for Westside. And Sione jamming for the Rat Pack. And slowly the cavalry arrive then for the Rat Pack out of the penalty box. So Westside picking up 3 points takes them to the 100 mark. 100 playing 88. And again, the slight pack advantage going the way of Westside with Mega jamming for Rat Pack up against Murderface. Unfortunately though for Mega, picking up a back block. So just the two blockers out front. Unfortunately though, number 3-3, that's Killamari, also making their way to the penalty box. So the penalty box, early stage of this jam, seeing plenty of traffic. Murderface out front, lead jammer. That one comes to an end, but not before Westside putting 8 points on the board. Westside Glory, Westside Derby Dolls 108 to Ballarat Rat Pack 88. So with that whistle, we get this one back underway. And here's a familiar face jamming today for the first time, but certainly in this game, it is Florence the Machine. And again, the Rat Pack losing some skaters to penalties. Florence Machine not too worried about that, picking up 4 more points. And again, nice use of the outside part of turn number 2, Florence and Machine. It's another 4 points being added to the Westside total. And as has happened so much in this game, Westside just stretching the lead just a little bit. And really throwing the question down and asking the question of the Rat Pack, can they respond and see if they can't get some points and close the gap. The pack now slowly coming down through the back straightaway, and Florence Machine had enough of that, called it off. Which side line of turn number 1 gets out and is your lead jammer. So with Rory Spillmore jamming for West Side, and looks like Mega jamming for the Rat Pack. The pack advantage going the way of West Side. Rory Spillmore then wasting no time getting on through. It's already 4 points been added to the West Side total. So it looks like we then have Fatal jamming for West Side up against Vindicator. Jamming for the Rat Pack. Lead jammer going the way of West Side. Sort of almost a stagnant pack here in between turn 1 and 2. Fatal just stacking on the points for Westside Glory. Unfortunately, Fatal picking up a cut track, so that's going to be a power jam then for the Ballarat. The Rat Pack, so Vindicator back out on track now, has the track to herself. We're looking to try and put some points on the board. Some much needed points, has to be said, for the Rat Pack. Just keeping a very keen eye on the bench as she skated past was Vindicator, just making sure that she can maybe get some points before. So Fatal then released out of the penalty box. Can't do any more damage than what was already done. So with that, a 10-point jam for Fatal, putting Westside out to 147. 8 points for the Rat Pack, moving them along to 98. As we see ourselves under another official timeout. Bit of an old-fashioned wind-up start there. Haven't seen one of them for a while. So we get this one underway. It is then mega jamming for the Rat Pack. And it looks like it's going to be a power. It is a power jam start. As unfortunately in the previous jam, Fatal picking up a penalty. So the pack then slowly just making their way. Well, they were making their way into turn one, but now they're spread very much right the length of the main straightaway, almost back onto the jammer line as Fatal's then released out of the penalty box. And straight away met with the full force of the Rat Pack defence. Ballarat defence trying absolutely everything in their power to hold Fatal up. Taking Fatal to the inside part of turn number one. And the pack now just... Well, they're coming through turn number one. Plenty of defence from both teams happening. As then Fatal is the recognised lead jammer. So basically that official review, ladies and gentlemen, and for the folks playing along at home, Ballarat was seeking the forearms call in the previous jam to be overturned. As we get this one underway, that review was successful and deemed that there was no contact made, so therefore the forearms call does not stand. Ballarat keep their review. So back to the action it is then. Vindicator jamming for the Rat Pack. Murderface jamming for Westside. Unfortunately though for Murderface, picking up a penalty. With 3 minutes 50 to go. A nice lead being held by Westside Glory, 153.98. But with a bit of a power jam for the Rat Pack. A good opportunity then for them to put on some points. Now the O comes, the cavalry arrive to try and open things up for Vindicator. A lot of hard work there by Vindicator, but gets on through. Just the 1 point then from the Rat Pack, edging them ever so closer to the 100 mark. 99, Westside Glory 153. Just a tick over 2.5 minutes remaining in this game. So it is then Sione jamming for the Rat Pack. And Rory Spilmore jamming for Westside. Unfortunately though for Sione, looks like a penalty has been issued. So it's a power jam run then for Rory Spilmore and Westside. Both teams really going hard on the defence. Westside doing the goat work at the back. Really not giving Snipples any chance whatsoever to get on through, but eventually does break through. But not before Rory Spillmore picked up 4 more points to add to the Westside total. Nice bit of work on the inside part of turn 2. Rory Spillmore, it's another 4 points. And it's another 4 points there for Rory Spillmore. And the Westside Glory, Westside Derby Dolls, as the pack slowly comes through turns 3 and 4. It seems to have said trying to offer up all the defense on that previous pass. As the pack now comes to a bit of a halt at the midpoint part of the main straightaway. 216 Baby H there, 269 Gussie and Scream are the 3 blockers for Ballarat out front, trying everything they can to hold up Rory Spillmore, but not long to go in this game. Be sure to hang around. After this, we have EBRD versus the Valley Cats. As we find ourselves under yet another official timeout. So we get this one underway, and jamming for Westside it is. Murderface up against Mega jamming for the Rat Pack. Murderface was well aware of what was going on there. Just only had to run the clock down before calling it off for under the unofficial score. So Jammer refs will make sure that everything that should have been is. Make sure all points are accounted for. So there's a rolling whistle, which brings an end to this game. A very entertaining game between the Ballarat Rat Pack and the Westside Glory Westside Derby Dolls. Taking the win 172.99. We thought we were going to be in for an interesting game and a hard-hitting game and an action-packed game, and that's exactly what we got. Just waiting now for the two teams to break after their initial sort of after-game huddles and congratulatory bits and pieces. So the two teams now making their way out on track, and they're going to come around and offer up an elbow to all the fans that have hung around. It is Westside Derby Dolls, Westside Glory, Matty Longlegs, Rory Spilmore, Fatal, Fisticuffs, Club Sandwich, Rev, Fancy Pants, Florence the Machine, Liz Vegas, Matokia Slaughter, Murderface, Smiling Assassin, Hell Kitty, Chuka, Massacre Jones, and Julia. And on the Ballarat side of things, we have Sione, Schemtress, Baby H, White Russian, Gussie, Killamari, Roast Mortem, Mega, Alice, Snipples, and Vendiscator. I can call a raffle. Is there a raffle? Oh, cool. I'll come over in a sec, Dolly. So both teams then slowly making their way off track, and the other two teams about to hit the track and get their warm-ups and everything underway. So apparently there's a raffle about to take place. So I'm going to bugger off from here, and I'm going to go over to the lovely Dolly and see if I can't sort this raffle thing out. So hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, you've bought your raffle tickets. I don't know what the raffle's for, but you know, I'm sure there's some fantastic prizes on offer. I love being able to walk around with the microphone and talk, and I can still hear my voice. That's really, really bad. Anyway, here we go. Apparently we're going to draw a raffle. I don't know what the raffle's for, but we're going to draw a raffle anyway. I love me a good raffle. Oh, there's gifts. There's gifts. Whoa, a pizza paddle. I love me a good pizza paddle. Put all the little bits and pieces in there. Give it a good old shake around. Excellent. It's like the lucky dip, really. All right, here we go. It is a purple ticket, B24, Libraulian. Where's Libraulian? Like Brawling, if you're still in the building, you've just won yourself a prize. Come and see us over here at the merch desk. Oh, incoming. Here we go. Winner, Live Brawling. Well done. Congratulations. You've won yourself a pizza paddle. Yes. We've got more raffles, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you got your raffles out and ready to go. Luminaire de Soya. Ah, candles. Nice. Really cool. I like a good smelling candle. All right, here we go. It is a black ticket D27 Tickles. Tickles. Tickle me Elmo. Oh, sorry. Tickle me hell no. I know you. Tickles, you've won yourself a prize. Where are you? Over there in the stripes. Come and see us, Tickles. You've just won yourself some candles or something, man. It's really cool. So if you don't take them, I will. Stay there, Tickles. They're coming over via your... no, your partner's got them. All good. Well done. Ooh. Peace lily plant. Flowers for all occasions, apparently, according to the little sticker. Doing all this sort of stuff. Here we go. It is a black ticket A78 Spag. You just won yourself a plant. Well done. Yep. One more. Homemade. Oh, by Annie. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bundle. Okay, Annie bundle. Okay, nice little assortment there of things. Relish and salamis. Oh, what? Hello. You know you're old when you have to read something, you actually have to take your glasses off to read it. It is a black ticket. A29. Who is it? Viv? Oh, Vivian Oblivion. Okay. Congratulations, Viv. Even though you're not here, you've just won yourself a prize. Is that alcohol? Is it too late for me to buy a raffle ticket? Damn! So what have we got here? A bottle of Billy Button Rosso. Oh, very nice. As I say, Alpine, that's local. I know, yes. All right, here we go. Here we go. It is a black ticket A58 Psycho from DCRD, I think it is. Is Psycho